What an interesting day to start the week, because what happened with AMC stock today is literally the copycat of what happened with the markets. But I want to focus on this video on something that Gary Gensler said, which according to me, my personal opinion, and I think you will agree with me once we get to the end of the video, that this is really the perfect illustration of what is wrong with this entire, manipulation and shenanigans and everything wrong happening with AMC stock and bunch of other stocks in the market. All right, so let's just get into it. He was happy. He was making an appearance on CNBC, and this is just a snapshot of what happened. So we're gonna listen to this, and we're gonna comment based on that. So let's get into it.
Insider trades. This is not insider trading per se, but CEOs who've been selling. You've been trying to update the 10b-15 program in terms of how they're able to do that. I wanted to ask you actually not about them so much as about Congress. Nancy Pelosi was recently asked whether members of Congress should be able to buy and sell individual stocks. She made the case that they should. And I don't know if we've ever asked you directly. Do you believe that Congress members should, given the information that they often are in possession of? And have you thought about any form of additional regulation from the SEC?
Well, it's interesting, Andrew. There's a law that Congress passed not that many years ago called the Stocks Act, and it addressed this issue. It addressed this issue about the use of material non-public information, and sometimes that non-public information is inside a company, but that non-public information can also be inside of the deliberations and discussions in the legislative branch. And so Congress did address that, and we're the agency that has some oversight there, and we're going to vigorously enforce that law, which is, I'm sorry, it's maybe 10 years old.
But you have no concerns about the credibility of Congress, the credibility of corporations that oftentimes are talking to members of Congress when it comes to these issues?
I think that our whole system of finance comes down to one basic word, and it's called trust. And it comes back to Becky's earlier question and your current question. How do we get the best trust so companies can raise money efficiently and investors can, quote, trust the market? And protecting against insider trading, whether it's at a company or whether it's a government official, both are important to the basic trust.
So folks, here is the issue, all right? I don't know if you caught it, but let me, go over it one more time. Our system, this is what, Mr. Gary Gensler said. Our system of finance comes down to one basic word, and it is trust, says Gary Gensler. Protecting against insider trading, whether it is at a company or whether it is a government official, both are important to the basic trust. But the thing is, if you just scroll down a little bit on Twitter, looking at all the answers, for example, this one saying that this user tweet, trust is not built on watching Congress not only trade with insider information, but trade equities for which they have a direct role in determining winners and losers. No one trusts Gary Gensler or the SEC or the elected representatives stealing from their constituents. This is another very interesting picture. Someone beating another person, and a kind of caricature of Mr. Gary Gensler just sitting there taking a picture or a video or whatever, just sitting there doing pretty much nothing. All right, so another response that I found pretty interesting. Oh, that was a cute way of saying a whole bunch of nothing. We don't trust you, Gary. You've given retail no reasons to. So here are my take on these, folks, and feel free to comment to comment down below the video. The thing is, he's talking about the financial system, and I believe this is what he said from the very beginning he got into his role as the chairman of the SEC. The system of finance, basically much, what is happening on Wall Street, what is happening with the stock market in the US, has to do with trust. But the thing is, how about what is happening within AMC? How about what is happening with GameStop? How about a company having many news coming its way for the short term, for the medium term, for the long term, yet so far this year the stock is down 17%. How come even after the stock is down more than 10%, like it was a couple of days ago, it's supposed to be on SSR rule, short selling restriction, it is still going down 7%. How in the heck is that even possible? How in the heck is it possible that a stock can trade like 75 million times above the current amount of outstanding shares out there? It's like you're selling a single car to 10 different people, and you expected people to believe that it is the way of doing things. No, it is not. That is called stealing, especially here in Texas. So just to say that it is an illustration, I believe this is really, an image. It's really, the symbol of what we are fighting for here in AMC Stock. It's not that we are fighting against only the hedge funds, but we also trying to make sure things get fair. I mean, of course, in life, nothing is fair, especially what is happening here with this whole story, because there's always going to be, whales, small fishes. And usually before last year, the retail investor used to be the small fish, but that has changed, So do we expect the SEC or even the DOJ, the Department of Justice, to actually do something here that will actually change what is happening here with AMC stock and a bunch of other stocks? I barely think so. I mean, at the beginning, maybe I was naive, but this maybe just, because I'm a naturally optimistic person. But I really did believe that these guys were trying to do something. But now, hearing this statement is like, man, this might be another way of saying a bunch of nothing, just to say nothing is happening and they will do nothing, because so far there have been many occurrences, many examples that they could have used this to actually make sure this system of trust, this basic trust between investors, protecting investors against any form of, harm or hurt being done by whoever, insider trading representatives or even companies, that have no business of doing something illegal, like naked shorting. This is illegal, but yet they continue to do this. They continue to do whatever they want. But the thing is, this time around, it might not end up the way they want to, because we ain't selling. Nobody's going anywhere. And that's it, folks.